Imagine a film so epic, so groundbreaking, that it redefines what cinema can do. A movie that takes you on a thrilling, emotional journey set in the vast, mysterious sands of Arrakis. Yes, we're talking about Dune, Part 2. And trust me, you don't want to miss this review. Welcome back to Movie Sci-Fi, your go-to channel for all things science fiction and cinema. Today, we're diving deep into Dune, Part 2, 2024. A sequel that may just be one of the greatest sci-fi films of all time. In this video, we'll explore why audiences are calling it a masterpiece, what makes it stand out, and whether it surpasses Dune. Part 1. Plus, stick around because we'll reveal the film's greatest standout moment later, something that will leave you speechless. Alright, let's break this movie down. What makes Dune Part 2 incredible? Well, everything. Let's start with the story. The plot, how it builds on Part 1. If Dune Part 1 was an introduction to Frank Herbert's rich universe, Dune Part 2 is where everything explodes, figuratively and literally. Paul Atreides, played brilliantly by Timothée Chalamet, steps up and fully embraces his destiny as the leader of the Fremen. The power struggles, the betrayal, the rising tension, all hit harder in this chapter because the stakes feel enormous. This is a story about revenge, survival, and the human spirit, but it's also a critique of power, religion, and destiny. And speaking of stakes, the love story between Paul and Chani gets more emotional and nuanced here. Zendaya has way more screen time in this sequel, and boy does she deliver. Their bond feels real, but it's not over the top. It's grounded, and it drives home Paul's motivations. The visuals. Beyond stunning. The visuals in this movie are a gift to humanity. Every frame feels like a painting. The cinematography by Greg Fraser captures the beauty and danger of Arrakis like never before. Whether it's a sandworm towering over the Fremen or a quiet sunset over the desert, every scene feels alive. The black and white monochromatic fight sequence? Jaw-dropping. If you thought CGI-heavy blockbusters were starting to look fake, Dune Part 2 will restore your faith in the power of VFX. From the realistic sandworms to the striking ornithopters, this film sets a new benchmark. The music Zimmer returns. And let's talk about Hans Zimmer. This isn't a movie score, it's an auditory experience. His new track, A Time of Quiet Between Storms, is the heartbeat of the entire film. The music perfectly captures the rising tension in Paul's story and the growing love between him and Chani. Oh, and those percussion-heavy action moments? Spine-tingling. Characters and performances. But of course, amazing visuals and music don't matter unless you have a cast that can deliver, and this cast? Easily one of the best ever assembled. Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya shine brighter than ever, but the newcomers also bring their A-game. Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan, elegance and intelligence personified. Austin Butler as Fade Routha, absolutely terrifying in the best way, chaotic, devious, unhinged. And Christopher Walken as Emperor Shaddam IV's pure gravitas. The performances are so layered and emotionally charged, it feels like these characters are real people. Themes and world building. What makes Dune Part 2 truly great is its depth. It's not just a sci-fi epic. It's a movie that tackles big themes. Faith, the danger of blind devotion, corruption, and the price of power. The story expands with rich details about the Fremen, their connection with Arrakis, and their ultimate quest to transform the desert planet into a paradise. The political intrigue here, with betrayals and alliances, makes this feel like Game of Thrones in space, but far more soulful. Remember the scene where Stilgar shows Paul the Fremen's hidden water reserves? That's 38 million decaliters, by the way. It's moments like these, small, poetic, but powerful, that make this movie a masterpiece. The golden moment, the one scene. You'll never forget. But if there's one scene that will stick with you long after the credits roll, it's Paul riding the sandworm for the first time. It's not just an epic moment, it's an emotional payoff for everything he's gone through. That single act solidifies his place among the Fremen and marks the beginning of his reign as Muad'Dib, their savior. The visual effects are flawless, the emotion is raw, and the spectacle? Absolutely cinematic history in the making. To wrap this up, Dune Part 2 isn't just a sequel, it's a landmark film. The visuals, the music, the performances, the story, it's all unmatched. Denis Villeneuve has taken one of the most complex pieces of sci-fi literature and turned it into a cinematic masterpiece that might just go down as one of the greatest movies of all time. Whether you're someone who loved Part 1 or you were left unsure, this is the movie that will completely hook you. So, what are you waiting for? Go watch Dune Part 2 in IMAX if you can. It's an experience you'll never forget. And hey, drop a comment below telling us your favorite scene. Was it the battle? The emotional moments? Let's discuss. Oh, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Movie Sci-Fi, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into epic films like this one. See you on the next journey, folks. Until then, may your paths always be lit by the spice.